Okay, good morning. So it's already 4 minutes. We'll start. Good morning. So we are going to start in one more before I start. Case study question is being posted in GCR. You can just check out. Uh, Out of that, one will be there for your case study question in your second internals. And regarding innovative thing, so whatever I have covered till now, it will be from them, from that particular part only. Maybe your tables, maybe your SQL commands, something like that will be there, your innovative question. And from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you'll be having internals. So now I just want you to revise what we have done, what we have left in the last class. In the last first internals, you are having a syllabus of first. You are having a syllabus of first module we have taken, and second module was been second half was covered in the first internals. Now in the second internals, second half, third complete, and fourth starting. So this will be there for your syllabus for your second internals. That is second half, third complete, fourth starting, fourth unit starting. So this will be your syllabus for your second internals. Any doubts you can ask me. Anything you want for the second internals? Okay. So now we'll just start with a third module. So in the third module, what we are seeing is we are not only for exam point of view, this is important, but because you'll be having a job as a software engineer, then definitely you require a DBMS. Not only DBMS, in that which topic is very important. This topic, what you're learning in module 3, that is SQL, is very important for any project, whether it is small, big, whatever it is. We require a database. So that's the reason we have to know about a structured query language. So before we move on in depth about SQL, just let us see what is basic concepts required for DBMS. So first, data. So if I say, I will take your student names as, let me take your names. Suppose if I take USN1, Asta, and I'll take Bhargavi. I don't know USN of Bhargavi. I'll take Amrish. I will take attendance on October. I will take marks, DBMS marks theory lab. I will take OS marks. Like this, if I take, what is all this? These are called as a data, raw data. There is no format for this. What I am doing, you people may not be in a position to understand. Such type of data, we are calling it as a data. Raw facts and figures which are useful to organize. We have still not organized, but we know what this data is. So that is called as a data. After that, I'll just organize them. Wherever USN is there, I'll put their USN. Wherever there is a name, I'll put your names there. Wherever your attendance for that particular month is there, I'll put them. So like this, if I start entering, then that is what is called as a information. Well-processed data is called information. We can take decision on the basis of information. Field. Set of characters that represents specific data element. That's what is a field. Set of characters that represent specific data elements. Then record. Collection of fields is called a record. A record can have fields of different data types. So what we have there? One second. Yeah. Okay. So field is what? Now your USN is one field. Your name is another field. So like this, we may have so many fields. Then we are calling those as a field. So that records. Now how many are there in third semester? 51 students are there. So I have to enter all 51 students. That is record. Collection of fields is called a record. A record can have fields of different data type. That's what is called as a record. Then database collection of logically related data along with its description is termed as database. That's what is a database. Then tuple, a row in a relation is called as a tuple. Then attribute, a column in a relation is called an attribute. It is also termed as a field or data item. That's what is a attribute. Then degree, number of attributes in a relation, number of attributes in a relation is called as a degree of relation. Number of attributes, now your USN name. So what is a degree? 2. I will add your semester, degree 3. I will add your first DBMS marks, 4. So like this you can add number of attributes, then we call the degree of that particular relation. Then cardinality ratio, how many tuples? Now I'll enter for 5 students, USN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I will add rest of 5. Like this I keep adding. Then that is called as a number of tuples in a relation is called cardinality of a relation. That is what is a cardinality. Then primary key. Primary key is a key that can uniquely identify the records or tuples in a relation. This can never be duplicated and null. So that's what is called as a primary key. Then foreign key. A foreign key, primary key, we can take your USN. USN is a primary key. So then foreign key, what is a foreign key? Foreign key is a key that is defined as a primary key in some other relation. This key is used to enforce referential integrity in RDBMS. And what is candidate key? Now your name, your USN, I'll take these two together, one set, then that is called as a candidate key. Okay, out of that candidate key, one is primary key, your USN is a primary key. What is the other alternative? I can call you, if I know your name, I know Asta, I'll call Asta instead of USN. Then what is the alternative? I name. So then that is what is called as an alternative key. Then DBA, a database administrator, is a person or a manager that is responsible for defining the database schema, setting security features in the database, ensuring proper functioning of the database, etc. That's what is a database administrator. And what is SQL? SQL is a non-procedural language that is used to create, manipulate, and process the database. That's what is a SQL. Then characteristics of SQL, it is very easy to learn and use. Large volume of databases can be handled quite easily. It is non-procedural language. It means that we do not need to specify the procedures to accomplish a task by just to give a command to perform the activity. Then what is SQL? SQL can be linked to most of the other high-level language that makes it first choice for the database programmer. That is what is the characteristics of SQL. Then processing capability of SQL. The following are the processing capabilities of SQL. One is data definition language. Either we call it as a data definition language or a DDL. So then what is DDL? DDL contains commands that are used to create the tables, databases, indexes, while views, sequences, and synonyms, etc. That is create table, create view, create index, then alter table. That is what is a data definition language. So these are the create table, create view. These are the commands which are present or which can be used in a data definition language. Then we have something called as a data manipulation language. Processing capabilities of SQL. Data manipulation language, that is DML. DML contains commands that can be used to manipulate the database objects and to query the databases for information retrieval. That is select, insert, delete, and update. So that is what DML stands for, data manipulation language. That is select, insert, delete, and update. So then I want to view. So how to view the data definition? So we have a command called as a create view. So what we do in a create view, DDL contains set of commands to create a view of a relation, that is create view. Data control language. This language is used for controlling the access to the data. The commonly used commands DCL are grant and revoke. That is what is a data control language. Then what is transaction control language? The TCL include commands to control the transaction in a database system, the commonly used commands in TCL are commit and rollback. That is what a transaction control language. So if you don't save your SQL, whatever inserted values, so whatever created, it will not be saved until unless you use a commit command. So suppose you have used a commit, after that you have executed 2 more commands, but you felt that you want to go back, then you can say roll back till your commit command was executed. You can go back, roll back. That is a verb of roll back. Then we see what is the data types of SQL. Just like any other languages, even we want to store some data and what type of data I am storing, then we require a data types of SQL. The facility of defining data of various types is available in SQL. Also, following are the most common data types of SQL. That is, what are the data type most we are using? Still more are there, but these are the most commonly we are using. One is a number, next is a character, then next is a varchar, date, long, raw, and raw long. So these are the data types of SQL. First one is a number. Used to store a numeric value in a field or a column. It may be decimal, integer, or a real value. General syntax is number n, d, where n specifies the number of digits and d specifies the number of digits to the right of the decimal point. Example, marks number 3 declares marks to be of type number with maximum value 999. Then point, either I can just use a, I don't want to use a fraction, then you can directly say number. Suppose if I want to use a decimal point, then I have to represent number, what is a complete digit, then where we want a decimal point. So this is what number 5, 2. It represents where should be the decimal point. It says that 2 digits to the right of the digits should be a decimal point. That's how the number can be used. So in the same, now you have a table where you want to know whether a person is a male or whether person is a female. Then we are using a single character. In that type, we can use a character. Used to store character type data in a column. General syntax is char size, where size represents the maximum number of characters in a column. The char type, data type can hold how much, what is the maximum size for a character is 255 characters can be represented in the characters. That is, name character 25 declares a data item name of a type character up to 25 size long. That's what a character says to us. Then what is a varchar? So now suppose Asta, what is her characters? If I just say only Asta, she has 5 characters. In the same way, if I say Abhinav Gupta, how many characters he has? The length is different. She may be having 5 characters. Abhinav Gupta may be having 10 characters. Aishwarya may be having 7. Ambarish may be having some numbers. Anu is only 3. So like this, the names may be of different sizes. Then we are using this type of data type called as a varchar. What is this varchar? The data type used to store variable length numeric data. General syntax is varchar size. That is varchar 2 and size, where size represents the maximum number of characters in a column. The maximum allowed size in the data type is 2000 characters. Then address varchar. Address is the type varchar of up to 50 characters long. That's what is varchar and varchar 2. Next one is date. So date data type is used to store dates in the column. SQL supports the various date formats other than the standard day, month, and year. So the same way, if I want to know what is a today's date, I want to know what is the date of birth of a particular person, then we use a data type called as a date. Again, this data type generally, the standard format depends upon what type of application you are using. So generally, it will be taken as a date, month, and year. And if I want use a long means I want to store a size of GBs. Then you can use a long, something like you are storing your project synopsis. then what is the size? It may be more. So then we can use a log. Now, you people want to send the images to the university, your photos. Then what type of data they have to use to store the images? We use a image raw. Raw is a data type used to store the images. So in your placement also, if Oracle company comes, then definitely they'll ask you what is the data type used to store the image, because most of you would have not remembered this. Others like number, character, where you would have remembered, because we use very less this data type when we are doing a operations on database. But this images also can be used. Not only images, you can use a pictures, you can use animations, you can use a clips. For all these, we are using a data type called as a raw. Either you can use a small, that is raw, or a bigger size, then we say long raw. So store binary data. That's what binary data is. What? Zeros and ones. We store. That is what is a raw or a long raw data type is used. A column or a long raw type can hold up to 2 GB of binary data. That's what a image and a raw. The next one is a create table command. So what is a syntax we are using for a create? Create table command is used to create a table in SQL. It is a DDL type of command. That is data definition language type of command. The general syntax of creating a table is create table, table name. What are the column? So how many columns are there? Column 1, column 2, column 3, like that. What is the data type? Now your USN is a alphanumeric, alphabet as well as a character. Then what is a constraints you want to use? Whenever I say USN, there should not be a blank there. Then we say not null. Then it should be unique. No two USN should be there. Now Astas is 01. I cannot give same USN 1 to some Anu. I cannot give same USN. Anu's USN should be different. Asta's USN should be different. That's what a unique. The same way column constraint. Whether USN is a primary key, foreign key, what type of key, then you can say the constraints. So like this, we can enter any number of columns and specify how many constraints you want to give for that particular table. You can give. Either you can give particularly for constraints here, or you can give at the end. So what are the constraints are present in the table? So this is a general syntax for creating a table. And just we told what are the constraints. So what is the constraints available? Constraints are the conditions that can be enforced on the attributes of a relation. The constraints come in play when even we try to insert, delete or update a record in a relation. That is not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check and default. That's what is a constraint says to us. Constraints are the condition that can be enforced on the attributes of a relation. The constraints come in play when we try to insert, delete or update a record in the relation. So that's what not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check and a default. Let us see first one, that is a not null. Ensures that we cannot leave a column as null. So always it says that your USN should be present. In place, if I say I don't know your USN, no, that is not acceptable. I should know your USN, then only I should enter your USN in the USN column. So that then USN column cannot be said as null. In the same way, your name. So you just take your name. I at least to identify you people once you come for first semester MCA. Initially, we'll call you by your names because still the USN would have not been generated. Then I cannot say null answer your attendance. I cannot say I have, at least I should know your names. That's what here. Name cannot be not null. Then unique constraints means that the value under that column are always unique. So now your USN is always a unique constraint. That's what a constraint is, not null and a unique. So the next one is a primary key. What is a primary key constraint? Constraints means that a column cannot have duplicate values and not even a null value. That is a roll number 3 and a primary key. So that's what here your USN is a primary key. But what, you may ask me, what is the difference between unique key and primary key? The main difference between a unique and primary key constraint is that A unique may have or it will allow a null values, but primary key will not allow a null values. That is the main difference between a unique and a primary key. Definitely you may expect this question in your placements. So what they'll ask, what's the difference between unique and primary key? Then what should be your answer? Unique will allow a null values, but primary key will not allow a null values. Okay, then foreign key is used to enforce referential integrity and is declared as a primary key in some other table. So that is what is a foreign key. Foreign key is used to enforce referential integrity and is declared as a primary key in some other table. So now suppose you are in which semester? You are in third semester. Which department? MCA. I may have CS department, I may have IS department, I may have MCA department. See, now you are how many? 50 students. So if I have a table called as a student, and if I take one more column as a department, in that department, if I say MCA, how many MCS have to repeat? 51 times I have to repeat your MCS because you are 51 students. Imagine if again first semester as well as fifth semester also we have to enter department as MCA. Then how many times what? The data is repeated. So many times data is repeated. Instead of that, what we'll do, we'll divide the table. Student is completely one table, department is completely another table. Then I can just link these two tables. Then we use a key called as a foreign key. Foreign key is used to enforce referential integrity. So that's what here, sometimes you'll get an error called as a referential integrity. When this referential integrity constraint will come is, suppose you have created a table student, when you're creating a student. Okay, so whereas you're referring that table in some other table, right? So department, but I want to know, I'm referring this table department in a student table. So then this department number should be present in a department table, a student table. Then if here I have given department, that's all. Whereas when I'm calling in the student, I'm calling it as a table as a department number 1. Then definitely you'll get a referential integrity constraint. Okay, so take an example, customer ID varchar 5. So I am referring this customer ID as a foreign key where in a master table. And for which column I'm calling for a customer ID. So that's what this refers, this reference, this is referred. So that's what is called as a customer ID. One second. Yeah. Okay. So it declares customer ID column as a foreign key that refers to a customer ID field of table master. That means we cannot insert that value in customer ID field whose corresponding value is not present in customer ID field of master table. So that's what is a foreign key. So then we have one more key called as a check constraint. Constraint limits the value that can be inserted into a column of a table. So now you have your second internal. Then one of the student has written the internals. Then I cannot give -10, -20 for the students, right? Then what I have to enter? In that case, I can give a constraint called marks should not be less than or equal to 0. It should be always greater than 0. I want to give this constraint to column for a marks. Whenever I am entering the marks for a particular student, when I enter -10, it should say that it is invalid. So in that cases, we are using a check constraint. The above statement declares marks to be of type number, and while inserting or updating the value in the marks, it is ensured that its value is always greater than or equal to 0. So that is what is a check constraint. Then the one more constraint, that is default. Constraints used to specify a default value to a column of a table automatically. This default value will be used when user does not enter any value for that column. Balance number 5 default equals to 0. Create table student roll number, number 3, primary key, name, varchar 25, not null, class, varchar 10, marks, number 3, check, marks greater than 0, city, varchar. So now what, this is one small example for creating a table. So what we have done, we have created a table called as a student. How many columns we have in that table? In that table, we have a roll number, we have a name, class, marks, and city. These are the attributes. So column names. And what are the data types for each roll number? We are entering number, and name varchar, class varchar, marks number, and city varchar. And we are entering some constraints. Roll number is a primary key, and the name should not be null. There should be some value in place of name. I cannot leave blank. So that's what not null. And when I'm entering your marks, I cannot enter your marks minus 20, minus 100. No, I cannot enter that. That reason we are using a check constraint. So this is one small example for creating a table. Then operators in SQL, the following are the commonly used operator in SQL, that is arithmetic operator, relational operator, and logical operator. Now what is arithmetic operator? Plus, minus, star, multiplication, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So which you would have used in so many other languages, also in your maths. These also can be used in your SQL. So that is arithmetic operator. The same way relational operator. Now I want to know what is the marks of Asta, and I want to compare her marks with the Abhinav. Then I can compare them. So using a relational operator. In that case, we use a equal to, less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, not equal to. I can use any of these marks. Then that is what is called as a relational operator. Then logical operator, we can use or, and, not. Then what is arithmetic operator? Arithmetic operators are used to perform simple arithmetic operation. That is what is a arithmetic operator. Then relational operator are used when two values are to be compared, and logical operator are used to connect search condition in the where clause in SQL. That is what a logical operator. So I want to know what is your marks, and when I know your marks, along with that I want to know your names also. Then we combine them. Then we use a logical operator, and or not. Then we have something called as a data modification in SQL. I want to modify. Today I have you have your phone number, Airtel number. This was the scenario before 10 years down the line. If I have Airtel number, I want to shift it to Vodafone. Then I have to change my number. So in that case, what we have to do? We have to modify. So in that case, we are modifying data modification in SQL. But right now in the numbers, we don't want to require, it is not required to change the number. We can just change the networks. So that is now the technology is. After a table has been created, using the create table command, tuples can be inserted into the table, or tuples can be deleted or modified. That's what a data modification in SQL. Then data modification in SQL, insert statement. The simplest way to insert a tuple into a table is to use the insert statement. That is, insert into table, column 1, column 2, etc., column n, j, values, value 1, value 2, like this. So then that is what is a simple say for insert. Insert into student values. So what is this? This is roll number. 101 is the roll number of a student. Rohan is his name. What is his class? 11th class. What is his marks? 400. From which place? From Chennai. Like this we can insert the value. While inserting the record, it should be checked that is the values passed are of same data type as the one which is specified for that particular column. That is what insert into student values. Then insert statement for inserting a row interactively from a keyboard, and operator can be used. Insert into student values, roll number, name, class, marks, and city. In the above command, the values for all the columns are read from a keyboard and inserted into the table student. That is what a insert statement can be used. This is one more insert where we are just using a column names. Now roll number, name, class, marks, and city. This is also one more way of inserting a values into the table. So this is a small table, so where we have entered 6 rows, and how many columns we have? 5 columns. So what is a attribute? Columns we are calling it as an attribute. Roll number is one attribute. Name is another attribute. Class is another attribute. Marks is another attribute. City is another attribute. Then now this 101 Sanjay, 11th 400 Chennai. What is this complete one? This is one is called as a row, but here we are calling it as a one tuple. So the same way 102 Venki, and this completely is called as a tuple. And this is 103 is a tuple, 104 is a tuple, 105 is a tuple, 113 is a tuple. So like this we enter the tuples here. So 101 Sanjay, this one 400 and Chennai. So this is what the student table is. Roll number, all these, name, class, marks, and city. So now we have seen what is a insert, what is a create command. Now we can see SQL command, that is a queries. To retrieve information from a table database, we can query the database, that is SQL select statement is used to select rows and column from a database or a relation. Then select command, this command can perform selection as well as a projection. So same way which we have seen in the relational algebra, what is a selection is doing, what is a projection is doing, whereas the same work here in SQL can be combined. It will be doing both selection as well projection. So the capacity of SQL return you the tuples from a relation with all the attributes. That is projection. This is a capability of SQL to return only specific attribute in the relation, that is a projection. So then the select command. So select star from student. So what we are doing in a select star from student command will display all the tuples in the relation student. So here what it will do is select star from student. It will select all the complete table. That is what select star from student. Now I don't want to completely select the students. I want to select only some roll numbers. Then we say select star from student where roll number less than or equal to 102. So that's what here we can see. The above command display only those records whose roll number less than or equal to 102. The same way, I don't want all columns. I want only 2 columns. That is, I want name and a class of a student. Yes, we can do that. These 3 examples, what it shows, the first one completely will select complete table, but I want to filter. I don't want all student. I want only some student. Then we can use this. And in the third one, I don't want all information of all student. I just want their name and class. Yes, this is also available. So how we can do? Select name, class from the student. So this is one way, that is a select command. Another one is select command, that is select count as total number of records from the student. That is what count star. So display the total number of records with the title as total number of records, that is an alias. We can also use arithmetic operator in a select statement like select roll number, name, marks plus 20 from student. Select name, marks by 500 into 100 from student where roll number greater than 103. That's what is select command will be doing. Where here we are using a arithmetic operator, that is 20, and this is a addition, and this is a division and multiplication we are using. In the same way, I can use a distinct. So select distinct name from student. So the above command returns name. These are the names of the student, and this is a distinct keyword what I am using. So then sometimes I don't want all 50 students. I just want 1 to 5 students. So then we use a between clause. So SQL provides between operator that defines a range of values that the column value must fall for the condition to become true. Select roll number, name from student where roll number between 100 and 103. The above command displays roll number and name of those students whose roll number lies in the range 100 to 103. Both 100 and 103 are included in the range. So that's what here the between can be used. So in the same way, I want to know the range. So condition based on a list. To specify a list of values, in operator is used. So this operator select values that matches any value in a given list. Select star from student where city in Bangalore, Delhi and Chennai. What this gives in. So what is this condition? In is used in this list. In this list, I want to select one, that is Bangalore, Delhi and Chennai. So the above command displays all those records whose city is either Bangalore, Delhi or Chennai. Out of these three, it will be displaying. In that case, we used a keyword called as an in operator. In the same way, I want to match. I want students whose name starts with A. I want whose student's name starts with B. So I can use, and rest of them can be anything. Then we can use a percent symbol. So the SQL provides two wildcard characters that are used while comparing the string with like operator. So percent matches any string. So underscore matches only one character. That's what a underscore will be doing. Select roll number, name, city from student where roll number like %3. Displays those records where last digit of roll number is 3 and may have any number of character in front. So that's what you can see. Any number values can be in the front and this should be the 3. And condition based on the pattern, select roll number, name, city from student where roll number like 1 should start 1 and it should end with the last 3 and middle it can be anything. Means we are just comparing only one character. So it can be 103, 113, 143, something, anything, this character can be anything. But here it is taking only one. So that's what here the condition pattern based for only single value. So now we move on order by clause. So what is this order by clause? Now I want you people to order or stand according to your alphabetical order. Yes, I can say, or arrange yourself with your USN number. Yes, any way I can do. So that's what here the order by class will be using. The order by class is used to display the result of a query in a specific order, that is sorted order. I can sort them either in ascending order or I can sort them in the descending order, but it is based on what is the application. Based on that you can order them. The sorting can be done in ascending or in a descending order. It should be kept in the mind that the actual data in the database is not sorted. But so when we say sort, but actually it will not be sorted in the database. But once we are executing the query, only then it will be sorted, but not the actual table. That is what select the name, city from student order by name. The above query returns name and city column of the table. Student sorted by name in increasing, either you can do it in a ascending or descending order. So let us take one small example. Order by clause. How to use this order by clause? Select star from student, order the student table by a column called as a city in a descending order. So it displays all the records of a table student ordered by city in descending order. Note, if order is not specifies, if I am not specifying anything, then what is the default sorting will be performed in an ascending order. So that is what is a ascending order will be done. If you specify, you can specify it as a descending order. So in the same way, group by clause. So I want to group. So now you are doing some, let me assume that you are doing some mini project out of your 50 students. Then what we'll do, I'll say three people can be grouped. Then what we have done, 3 of you will be showing same project. So then what is that? We are giving some name, group 1. 3 of you will be called as a group 1. Other 3 will be called as a group 2. So like this, we call group 1, group 2, group 3. So many groups. So in the same way here also, in this SQL, we are just grouping by the clause. So what clause? Based on how I want to select. Let us just see one small example. Group by clause can be used in a select statement to collect data across multiple records and group the result by one or more columns. The syntax for the group by clause is select column 1, column 2, etc., column n, aggregate function, expression from tables where conditions, group 1, column 2, etc., column n. That's what a group by clause will be doing. What we have done, select how many columns we want to select. We want to select how many columns? Some columns I want to select. In this column, so what function? Some aggregate function. What are the aggregate function? I may say sum, I may say average. So I may say some aggregate function. Then that is what is a aggregate function. That is the expression from tables where conditions. Group 1, group by, column 1, column 2, etc., column. That's what is group by clause. Group by clause, aggregate function can be a function such as, so that's what I told, aggregate functions can be anything like sum, count, maximum, minimum, average, etc. So that is what is called as a aggregate function, that is a group by clause. The same way, select name, count, star as number of employees from student where marks greater than 350, group by city. So that's what is group by clauses. So aggregate function can be a function such as sum, count, max, min and average. Select name, count star as number of employees from student where marks greater than 350, group by city. That's what here group by clause will be doing. So the same way, after grouping, I'll call group number 10. And what? How will you respond? The three students whose group belongs to 10 or 9 will come front. Other groups will stay back. So the same way here, we are giving the having clause. What is this having clause will be doing? The having clause is used in combination with the group by clause. So that's what I told. Group means group based on what? Having 3 students with group number 10, B10. So like this we call. The same way here is used by selecting statements to filter the record that a group by returns. The syntax for the having clause is select column 1, column 2, etc., column n, aggregate function, expression from tables where predicts group by column and so many columns having condition, so many conditions you can give. I may say group 10, in that group 10 these 3 students, in group 10 these 2 students, in group 10 1 student. Like this you can give anything. That is what is called as a having clause. So I'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. Answer your attendance. Asta?
Present, ma'am.
Abhinav?
Present, ma'am.
Aishwarya?
Present, ma'am.
Amrish?
Yes, ma'am.
Anu?
Present, ma'am.
Arpaz?
Yes, ma'am.
Arjun?
Present, ma'am.
Ashok?
Present, ma'am.
Benita?
Present, ma'am.
Bhargavi?
Yes, ma'am.
Last class absent, Bhargavi? That's on
No, ma'am.
2810. 2810? 2810 was?
No, present, ma'am.
I don't know.
I'm present.
Okay. Bhavishya?
Present, ma'am.
Chaitra?
Present, ma'am.
Devmalai? Diksha?
Present, ma'am.
Deepika?
Present, ma'am.
Deepika MB?
Present, ma'am.
Murli Krishna?
Present, ma'am.
Gangubai?
Present, ma'am.
Gujia?
Present, ma'am.
Harshit? Harshit,
Present, ma'am.
Junjar,
Present, ma'am.
Kavya,
Present, ma'am.
Kishore, Lata,
Yes, ma'am.
Manisha,
Present, ma'am.
Manjunath,
Yes, ma'am.
Nayana,
Present, ma'am.
Nilanjan.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, since from long time, be regular. Out of 30, 29 classes, you are present only for 15. Nishant,
Present, ma'am.
Pavitra, Maithili,
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka,
Present, ma'am.
Pavan,
Present, ma'am.
Akash,
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Rajeshwari.
Ma'am, Pawan present.
Yeah, marked Pavan. Rakesh,
Present, ma'am.
Ramya,
Present, ma'am.
Rashmi,
ma'am.
Ravi,
Yes, ma'am.
Rizwan,
Present, ma'am.
Vishal,
Present, ma'am.
Savita, Shruti, Sneha,
Yes, ma'am.
Spurti,
Present, ma'am.
Srinidhi,
Present, ma'am.
Srinivas,
Present, ma'am.
Sunil, Vaishnavi,
Ma'am,
Present, ma'am.
ma'am.
Vinny.
Ma'am, present, ma'am.
ಸುನೀಲ್ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ 2 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಬ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Ma'am, ma'am, not well, ma'am.
Devmalai, always you'll not be answering, you'll be answering at the end. It seems that you will just on and leave the class.
Actually, ma'am, this time network disconnected. That's why, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Yeah, Mark. Who is one more?
Sunil, ma'am.
Deepika. Present, ma'am.
Deepika?
Ma'am, Deepika LG.
Yeah, marked. Kishore?
Sunil, mark, ma'am.
Sunil marked. Okay. So prepare well for your internals. I'll stop here.
Ma'am.
Yes. Yes, Purti?